right, so this is basically drawn out at this point. I've seen this argument so many times talking about Victor Wembanyama's height and how he's going to be a bust in the NBA because he's so tall. Is he worth getting? Should the San Antonio Spurs get Vic Wembanyama? He's 7'5" with shoes. He just got measured. I don't think they should because, hey, these players typically don't last that long in the NBA. I'm just going to call BS on this, and I have a few reasons why I feel like he'll be absolutely fine.
I want some rest. Are we having fun yet?
All right, so before we dive into Victor Wembanyama, let me go ahead and say this. ClanTheMerchFan.com. A lot of people don't like it when I talk about it, so I'm not going to talk about it anymore. So if you guys don't want to support, you don't have to. So please do not click the link in the description to ClanTheMerchFan.com. Do not look at the merch. Do not buy any merch. Please do not go to ClanTheMerchFan.com. For the love of me, for the love of God, do not go. Okay, please just leave it alone. Leave the link there. Do not touch it. Do not go and see some of the designs on there. Are they fire? Yes, they're fuego, but please do not go look. Okay. Can you do that for me? Thank you. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about Victor Wembanyama. Okay. So, yeah, like I said before, he is 7'5". It's official with shoes. The man is 7'5", and a lot of people have been speculating about whether or not he's going to be able to last in the NBA. Is he worth it? I don't know, Clan. I don't think that he's worth it. And I'm just going to say, I don't think it's that big a deal. So first and foremost, let me go ahead and do this, okay? So let me go ahead and talk about devil's advocate, or get into the devil's advocate of it all. Let's look at some of the tallest players to play in the NBA, okay? Starting at 7'3", and we can see here, we got Randy here, who played from 1983 all the way up to 1993. Now, one thing that I've noticed, and keep in mind that this doesn't necessarily have anything to do with their height. This could have been anything or reasons why they don't play or didn't play no longer. But one thing that I did notice just looking through all of these is the baseline. It seems like it's about a decade. Like, I've been seeing a lot of 10 to 12 years as far as how long these players have played. But the thing about that as well is, I mean, you obviously got like Tabit, who's just like not good at all. That's why he didn't last. But the thing about this too is a lot of these players that I'm looking at, like it's from the 80s, it's from the 90s. Sports medicine has gotten so much better since then. But I wanted to at least show this, go ahead and bring it to your attention. Obviously, you got your boy Boban, which he's played from 2015, and he hasn't hit that decade yet, so we don't know how long he'll last. But like I said, most of these, me looking through it seems like it's about a decade. I mean, even here, Chuck Nevitt, you got 1982 all the way to 1993 with the Spurs. So you don't know, you don't know. But overall, overwhelmingly, I've been seeing around a decade to the decent players. But with that being said, like I said, sports medicine has changed so much, so I'm not going to necessarily take this as like crazy evidence that all these players just don't last. I don't really see it that way. Now, with that being said, I also want to bring this up. So Victor Wembanyama, it seems like he's doing a lot of preparation. I saw a article just talking about his sleep and how he gets enough sleep at night. Some of the things that he's doing with his body to make sure he's prepared for the NBA. I've seen quite a few articles saying that he also wants to add a little bit of muscle or whatnot. But I'm going to be real with you guys. When I watch Victor Wembanyama play, and I've watched a lot of them at this point, the way that he moves his body, he's literally just a tall guard. Like, a lot of times, at least from what I've seen, okay, and this is just a fan's perspective, is a lot of these players that are freakishly tall like that, they are pretty reliant at times on their athleticism. Now, he is athletic, don't get me wrong, but they're like really reliant on being a traditional big man. And I'll be honest in saying that he is not that. He is closer to like a Kevin Durant. And even if, and this is why I think that he's going to have, this is my biggest reason why I think that Victor Wembanyama is going to have a fine career. He's not going to be a bust, and he's going to be in the league for a while. The reason why I believe this is because his shooting ability is so good that even with his skill of shooting, or even if he has some limitations when it comes to his body, he's going to always have that shot. And I think that that's something that you can always be able to utilize. He'll always have that shot. Even Pau Gasol later on in his career, when he started having a few more issues, getting older or whatnot, you could still use him as a shooter. So I think Vic, at the very least, even if, you know, I don't know, because it seems like the baseline is around 10 years. Let's just say, let's ignore sports medicine of modern day. Let's ignore how good my Spurs are at keeping players healthy. And let's just say, like, okay, he only has like a decade span. I feel like you can pack on 4 or 5 more years to that, because in the modern day NBA, you can really utilize that shooting ability even more so that you could maybe in the 80s era, 90s era or whatnot, because we're so prevalent on the 3-point line now. So just overall, I just think he'll always be pretty deadly. I wouldn't worry about it too much. And some of the players today that I think about that are still lasting, but they're not 6'4", not 6'5", obviously. But I think of Joel Embiid, who he has some injuries, right? He has some injuries, but I think that he's doing fairly well. And he's much more of a power. I won't call him a traditional big man, but he's closer to a traditional big man than Vic, in my opinion. But yeah, so I just don't really worry about it too much. So my point is basically, number one, San Antonio Spurs, they're really good with their personnel, keeping people healthy if he came to the San Antonio Spurs. But, you know, it's the NBA. All of them got millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars that goes towards this type of stuff. So probably don't have to worry about that no matter where he goes. On top of that, it's the modern day NBA. A lot of people talk about like how these big men, they just break down, and today's NBA, we could probably make or manage it just a little bit more. And then I look at his playing style, and he doesn't necessarily play like a traditional big. You know, he's just a guard who's freakishly tall, and I think that he'll be perfectly fine in that role. Not only that, I mean, we don't even know what position he'll be in. Like, everyone's already hanging it up and saying, oh yeah, he's a center. Guys, he could legitimately be a small forward at some point. I know that sounds weird. I know that sounds stupid. I know that sounds wild. But yes, the way that he plays, I could very well see him being a small forward. At the very least, I can see him being like a power forward. But yeah. So anyways, I'll get with you guys later, man. You want to support the channel, as always, clanthemerchfan.com. Link in the description. Oh, wait. Oh, I forgot. Don't click the link in the description. I love you guys. Until next time.